Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to hit that like button. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course, I always do greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So real quick, in my XDC video, I basically told you guys that we are watching Bitcoin dominance because as Bitcoin dominance is actually ranging higher as we do range sideways, it does cause altcoins to take a little bit of a deeper dive down. On the 24-hour span, we are seeing some altcoins down a little bit. Now, this is altcoins that are down the most. I know that for the most part, we've just been kind of sitting stable on a lot of altcoins. No real major price action just yet, as there hasn't been a major impulse on Bitcoin at all. We've been kind of just trading sideways, which is pretty surprising, especially for the weekend. Usually we have some volatile price action swings. In terms of gains, we do see Avalanche is actually up 10% today. A few other altcoins making a little bit of a nice move. On the 24-hour span as well. On the 7-day span, you guys could definitely see a little bit more of a better viewpoint on some altcoins. A few are up in the double-digit figures, but for the most part, we are just kind of ranging sideways. And of course, there is altcoins on the 7-day span that are down, multiple double-digit figures. So for the most part, we're not really kind of eyeing altcoins just yet to fully buy in, as we are still waiting for Bitcoin dominance to actually hit that resistance topping point. But in terms of QNT, we definitely have been keeping a close eye out on Quant. And I've been addressing this for a little bit of time, really kind of eyeing where we can come down to in terms of price. I think for the most part, a lot of altcoins kind of look very similar to the Quant chart, where we have this topping point somewhere between September and November, because a lot of the altcoins really kind of topped out around that point, which is also why everybody says that, we are in a bear market. Basically, November was our 4-year topping point, and now we're in, a very bearish trend. In my opinion, I think that we're actually in an extended bull run. I don't believe that we are following a 4-year cycle pattern. And right now, when we are looking at the current charts on a lot of altcoins, they're in a very similar structure to what Quant is actually doing, where we are coming down and testing, some significant lows. Our lowest point that we tested right now was about $61. And I'm sure that we tested a little bit lower depending on, of course, what chart you're actually looking at. I know that CoinMarketCap isn't, technically the best way to really kind of analyze things. But I want to show you guys this real quick because, when we look at the current chart and we kind of look at where we came down to test, it's basically right around the summer demand zones before we went off and rode up to like $400 plus. And I'm not saying that we're expecting that same, major move. I'm just saying, like, if we do hold this level as a support zone, then that's actually pretty significant, as it will allow us to have that nice major impulsive back up into a nice, area of demand. That demand zone for me is personally around like the $100 level to roughly like 110. That's where I want to foresee us going back to actually have that major gain of strength. But if we don't and we actually lose this level, then I am eyeing that $30 to $40 range, which I did say in my video from yesterday or the day before yesterday. In terms of the holders tab, yes, we are continuing to have active addresses added on. We've kind of seen a little bit of a slow in these numbers just recently, which is expected as the market sentiment is a little bit uncertain and fearful. But I do think that this is the best time to really kind of address and look at these tokens, as they are extremely undervalued. Now, the reason why I actually really, look at QNT and I pay attention to things happening around QNT is just because of, how future-proof Quant actually is when you look at things. And I know that I'm basically quoting this tweet down here, but it really is the idea that, Quant is doing things that are completely diverse in this market compared to everything else. I think that as we are in a market full of the same use cases kind of getting thrown together and, just kind of shilled, like for example, how many altcoins do you guys see in this market that's focused on payments or is focused on remittances? Or you see, altcoins doing the same things within NFTs and stuff like that. We just need something different. And that difference is, something like Quant. What Quant is doing is completely diverse in its own way, because we really never had something like Quant. A lot of people will bring up, Cosmos or Atom, if you will. Then they bring up, Chainlink or Link. And, although a lot of these do have some sort of, thing in common, like for an example, blockchain interoperability is something pretty significant that they all have in common. It's not the same as what Quant is doing. And I've always addressed this in the same way that I've addressed multiple things in the past. Quant is doing things that are completely different because they are interconnecting the legacy platform with the digital platform. And that's the best way that I could really describe it. We're going to be addressing that here in this video as well. But I also want you guys to listen closely to what Gilbert Verdan is saying here real quick.
So my background has been working in cybersecurity for 20 years at a very technical level. Around 2008, I was working as a CTO in the UK government in the Treasury. So the Treasury runs all the economy in the UK. I was at a government conference and I got up and spoke and I said, has anyone here heard about Bitcoin? And no one knew anything about it. There wasn't a single person from any department, including the intelligence guys, law enforcement, all the other departments. No one knew anything. So I spoke at the tea break, the intelligence guys, which is kind of, they're called GCHQ, which is the equivalent of the NSA. So what is this thing? And I educated them. And they went off and did their research, spoke to my peers in the department, and I got the Treasury to do a policy assessment on blockchain, which included Bitcoin. And they looked at it as a government. We looked at it and said, this is a toy thing. It will never have any material impact to the UK's economy. I was the CISO of Department of Health in Australia. So CISO is the Chief Information Security Officer. So my accountability was to make sure all the health records are safe for the country. At the time, I had an issue. There was lots of different systems, lots of different networks. Health records and data were spread out all over the place across different jurisdictions. So it was a problem. And I thought, you know what? This is a really good idea for Overledger, for blockchain, sorry. It's a really good use case to solve. So I started working on that as a blockchain use case, did it for health, and then the Standards Australia guys down there said, look, this is a good idea. Can we turn this into an ISO standard? I said, absolutely. And I ended up founding the blockchain ISO standard, TC 307. Right now, we have 46 countries working on this together to solve problems of blockchain to create a common standard across all blockchains. It's not just the countries themselves. There's representatives from the European Commission, from Swift, from IBM, from Hyperledger, from Microsoft, Sony. All the big companies around the world are working together as part of this ISO standard to solve.
And this is what I really want to focus on. Real quick, let me just finish up the video.
Blockchain standardization.
So, 46 countries. He's mentioning IBM, Swift, so many more, Hyperledger as well. You could see exactly where they're positioned. When we talk about things happening around Quant, this isn't just, a facade. It's not another, let's promise, and not deliver. They have been delivering since the beginning of time in terms of what Quant has been, doing, right? Since the inception of TC 307, since the inception of Quant themselves, they've been building out this Overledger network to have that interconnectivity layer because they do foresee where blockchain is headed. They understand that blockchain is a pivotal, key to not only the entire payment landscape, but just the entire way that we actually transact and utilize things on a day-to-day basis. It's not just payments. It's not just CBDCs and things like that. This is everything. I've mentioned this multiple times. When you look at the industries that Quant is a part of, and I actually have a tweet over here I'm going to be talking to you guys about in a second that's really kind of going to show you guys the industries that Quant is a part of. It's really something more than just payments. It's healthcare, it's Internet of Things. It's so much more. And that's why I say the value that Quant's unlocking is absolutely insane. It truly is the network of networks. Everything will essentially be connected. Now, of course, this is a massive thread. It's 11, parts. I'm not gonna do a full breakdown of this. I actually just want to skip to a part that I really want to talk to you guys about, and that is the industries that Quant is a part of. Because a lot of this we have talked about, but here we have, there's 150 plus central banks, 44,000 plus banks and credit unions around the world, each building products and services on their chosen, mostly private DLTs, and the DLTs of partners. Finance is just one sector. Now think every sector where QNT will be, involved. And here we have it, right? global finance, payment rails, asset tokenization, currencies, bonds, equities, real estate, art, etc., open banking, trade finance, consumer apps, etc., logistics, shipment, food tracking, luxury goods, blue economy, etc., healthcare systems interoperability, AI analysis, databases, reconciliation, etc. Internet of Things, smart cities, smart homes, autonomous vehicle, autonomous drones, etc. And then other government records, insurance, telecoms, airlines, airports, space agencies, HTML through DLTs, etc. This is everything. All right. I've talked to you guys about this multiple times. You need to understand what they are building. And in fact, on this tweet
So my
here,
background has been.
so let me pause that. We actually have this, quoted tweet here, and it's significant because this is a tweet from Quant that just got released today, where they are talking about behind the scenes, our DevOps team ensures that Overledger is future-proof, cloud-native solution ready to support whatever tomorrow brings. They are continuing to build out Overledger in its limelight. They are trying to build this out for a future-proof network because at the end of the day, this needs to be future-proof. It needs to be able to interconnect all of this and be able to run seamlessly and, frictionless with all of this interconnected through it. And healthcare is a key aspect to focus on because Gilbert Verdan essentially founded Overledger because of healthcare itself. So when we talk about this, it is something significant. Now, also, we just hear why I have invested in QNT explained with one similarity. Are you familiar with TCP/IP protocol? No. Quickly and simply is a network protocol which enables two computers to communicate. QNT is the TCP protocol that connects DLTs. How big will it be? And honestly, this is it, right? When you look at things happening around Quant, it truly is this. Everything will be interconnected through Quant. Quant is absolutely killing the game right now. I've always said that there's no other, asset in this space doing things quite like Quant. And trust me, there's other assets that I'm invested in. In fact, Anders, really kind of put this together perfectly. Here's 3 assets that I'm actually invested into, and here's exactly why I'm invested into them. I bet on these 3 the most for the following reasons. Not financial advice. QNT provides a level of interoperability no other project provides. Largest target market of all. The rabbit hole is very deep. MDApps, MLT, and much more. Look it up. Large institutions on board. Then, of course, we have XRP, cross-border payments and institutional liquidity. Token, target market, huge by thickened liquidity, and providing settlement for all types of assets. XDC, trade finance, fragmented, inefficient market, provides an obvious solution for multi-trillion-dollar market hybrid. And yeah, a lot of these assets are focused on institutional players. You got to understand that we are still a little bit of ways behind in terms of regulatory, certainty within this market. When that does happen, a lot of these utility gems that are focused on institutional and financial institutional clients in general, right? Because there's institutional money, there's banking money, corporate money. There's a lot of money still waiting on the sidelines to be deployed into this market when they have the certainty behind regulations to truly utilize these use cases in their limelight, right? And when that does happen, this market's going to shift, it's going to shift so fast that I don't believe that people are really prepared for it. I think that everybody's still, just debating on the 4-year cycle, bull and bear market. We're still going to play by that. And I just think that that is illogical to even continue to follow. If you want mass adoption and if you want, crypto to truly be seen in its true light, you are not going to continue to hope for the 4-year cycle to continue to play out. Although, yeah, it's great for predictions and predictability, I just don't think that that is the way to really kind of look at things. At some point in time, that 4-year cycle is going to completely, fail. And I actually do think that the 4-year cycle is essentially already failed in general. And I think that a lot of people just continue to say, like, we're going to continue falling. We're going to, hit some lower, points on altcoins, and Bitcoin's coming down to this level, that level. But I think that we're in an extended run. And I think that when we're talking about an extended market, I think that we're going to have that extended market. And then, in terms of like a utility market and where this entire market kind of gets reshapen through its entire landscape, that will essentially come after regulations are put in place. And that could happen within the 2023 to 2025 timeline. And if that's the case, then, our 4-year cycle and our bull and bear markets are essentially done with. It's just going to be a utility market where, things move by utilization and just these assets that are actually in these markets and how much money will actually flow over these assets within those markets, which is also why I say that QNT is such an incredible opportunity, because QNT is going after trillions and trillions of dollars. I mean, this is not just your typical asset that is focused on the gaming and NFTs and the metaverse and things like that are flashy and cool. They have never took a side, road in terms of their vision. They, kept it on a straight path. They continued to deliver on that one exact vision, and that is exactly why I continue to tell you guys that QNT is such an incredible opportunity. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join our free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.